Greetings and welcome to the Neurotheology YouTube channel's Music in the Brain series. In this episode, I want to talk about learning. How music helps us with learning. There are so many aspects to it, but the resource that I want to recommend in terms of music and learning is Dr. John Medina's Brain Rules, which is an excellent book if you want to know more about the neuroscience of learning or teaching and how to be a better learner, how to be a better teacher. John Medina's Brain Rules is an excellent resource, but I particularly want to talk about music and learning and what Dr. John Medina talks about how music can help us with learning. So music, if we're a music listener, music has a lot of really helpful aspects to it. It can help us lower our stress response, lower cortisol. If we listen to our favorite music, we can feel dopamine release, a sense of reward. If we're listening to music with others, we can have that sense of social bonding where oxytocin is released. But especially if you have had musical training, what happens with your sense of learning, those experiences, those talents, those skills transfer to other skills in your life as well. So with musical training, what can happen is studies have shown that with musical training, musicians have better attention, better discipline, more working memory, executive function. So there's a lot of research out there showing that musicians have more access to some of these other skills through practice of a piece, through memorizing a piece, potentially through improvising with other musicians, using your prefrontal cortex for planning and all of this kind of thing. So there are a lot of aspects there, but they found with musicians that have musical training that they have more in-touch emotional awareness, where in studies they've shown that if a person is speaking a language in a totally different culture, say a person that's Cambodian or a person that's Filipino is speaking, and the listener who's a musician doesn't know their language at all, they can still identify the emotional content because music and emotion are so correlated. And a lot of researchers are finding that there are some more universal emotions within cross-cultural experience. So if the tempo is very fast or loud, often it's associated with anger or fear. Where if the tempo, if the music is a little bit more dull, a little bit slower, that can often be associated with sadness. So musicians have been shown to have a little bit more emotional awareness. They found that musicians also, that they have better reasoning skills in terms of processing three-dimensional shapes, that it's called a spatio-temporal reasoning, that they can, in their mind's eye or with their mind, they can render three-dimensional shapes a little bit more effectively. So many reasons to pick up a musical instrument or pick up maybe singing, whatever kind of musical training it is. We don't necessarily have to be an expert or a virtuoso, but it has so many aspects that can help us learn in other areas of our life in terms of attention, in terms of executive function. So hopefully this is a great resource for you, Dr. John Medina's Brain Rules. Thanks for being here and hope this helps. Take care.